Well, hello there. I hope everyone is doing well today. As you can see, I'm wearing my Festive Ugly sweater, which is funny considering the fact that they're really not so necessarily ugly or out of place anymore because everybody's selling them. You can go to Walmart and buy all kinds of ugly sweaters as a fashion statement. But today is our work out to lunch for Christmas celebration today. So just wearing that to be festive. This morning in my Bible reading, I was in Mark chapter 4. Which comes into one of my favorite sections of the Bible in Mark 4 through 10, and take some time and read through that, and you'll really see why that is such one of my favorite passages of Scripture. But in today's Mark chapter 4, it's when Jesus is with his disciples in a boat in the midst of a storm, and it's going crazy. They all think they're going to die, and Jesus is sleeping at the front of the boat. A few years ago, I was in the midst of just a crazy time of life. I was without a job. Sin and bitterness in my own life had caused a lot of pain and hurt in my family that we were healing from. We were still trying to figure out what was going on, which end was up, and trying to heal from that whole time in my life. And if I were to tell you what category of hurricane it was a category 5 or 6 or beyond. We were holding on for dear life and just trusting that God was going to carry us through that season. And in that time, Mark chapter 4 became a huge comfort because as the disciples were sitting there saying, Jesus, you're sleeping, we're perishing, do you not care? I was in the midst of that. Life was so crazy. Was I going to make it? Was I going to survive? Was I going to heal? Was my marriage going to be saved? Was everything going to be okay? And God brought me this beautiful passage where Jesus, when he is awoken, what does he say? He says, peace, be still. And it says the wind ceased, and there was a great calm. Not just calm, it was a great calm. What I imagine is all of a sudden Jesus calms the storm and there's a great calm, and all of a sudden a wind and everything drops, and they're just stuck in the middle of the sea, the middle of the lake, or whatever it was they were on. They're just stuck. They can't go anywhere because there's just no wind. Jesus calmed it so well. And who knows, maybe they sat there for the next few hours and Jesus just encouraged them and they just rested in the midst of that calm. Now, they probably put the oars out and rowed to shore. But the thing that we learn there is that Jesus is the God of the storm, that Jesus is Lord of the storm. The reason he could sleep so well and so like a baby in the midst of a crazy storm was because he is the Lord of the storm. He knew that it was all taken care of. He knew that it was going to be okay. He knew that it could be cared for. And so, man, as we are in life right now and as we hit storms, we have a tendency oftentimes to want to run and to fix things and to work things out and to take care of things and to make them all better. But what we learn in the story is that when the storm comes and life gets crazy and life goes insane, that is the man of the family, is the head of the family, is the one who is guiding and leading our wife and our kids. The greatest thing we can do is turn to Jesus and say, Jesus, can you take care of this storm? And in that, all of a sudden, we can begin to rest, we can find peace, and we can sleep like a baby in the midst of the storms of life, no matter how crazy they come. And people may even look at you and be like, do you not care? Like you're fine. You seem so calm and at peace. But what you'll actually be able to turn to them and say is that, no, life is a mess. Life is absolutely crazy. But the thing is, I'm holding on to the Lord of the storm. Jesus is my rock. Jesus is my anchor. Jesus is the one who's got it all under control, and I will rest in his arms and I will be cared for. Because Jesus in your life, even though the craziness goes on, can take and say, peace, be still. And it doesn't mean that all the circumstances will be gone, but it means in your heart and in your mind and in your emotions, you all of a sudden receive peace. And guys, as a dad and as a husband, in the midst of those life storms, when you can do that, when you can turn to Jesus, the Lord of the storms, you will take your family from a place of chaos to a place of peace that will ride the storms out closer than ever, that will ride the storms out walking with Jesus, and that will ride the storms out by pointing people to Jesus, the Lord of all the storms.